Shit don't never stop.
Citizens, this is about to be the most random intro ever, but I want to remind y'all, you've heard this many a time, my obsession with hybrids. So this is why when DJ Wonder does Stump Wonder and he basically does a very peculiar blend of two different genres of music, and you always know I get hella hyped. Also, a fun fact from my youth, one of my favorite animals was a mule, which is a hybrid of a donkey and a horse, I promise you. One of my favorite sandwiches of all time is a Nutella grilled cheese sandwich. And I say all of this because of a hybrid for a project that's called Atlanada 2. And so my curiosity was already like piqued because I'm like, okay, these are two completely different sounds. We're obviously hearing some influences coming from Atlanta. We're obviously hearing some influences that come from Canada. And I was just here to see how it was all going to sound out loud. And I could put my 2 thumbs up, which is why I am proud to formally introduce this collective to Sway in the Morning for the first time. This is their debut on the mics. Put your hands together for Come Down. Yeah, so we got Castro, who's from Atlanta, and then we got Fiji, who's from Toronto. Welcome to the show, y'all.
Thank you for having us.
Man. Shout out Clayco, shout out Toronto, man.
And y'all can already see this is going to be very intimate since you guys are speaking directly to me. But I know that Sway had so many wonderful things to say about y'all. And Castro, I know in particular, you were just voicing this to me earlier, how big of a fan you are of the show.
Oh, super big.
Yeah, so you always be watching things on YouTube. Like, where do you usually get our
That's
content?
all I do. I ain't no cable. I don't watch it. I'm paying for no cable. I'm trying to see what Sway's saying in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I be on in the morning. So it's like throughout the day, it's just like watching those videos. It's just like of people that I look up to and like just watching, you know, like Sway engage with him. It's just like, wow, he's such a milestone in hip hop. It's just like, damn, I would love to be next to such a big part of history.
Yeah. I will make sure that it happens in the flesh next time that you guys come up.
Of course, when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always wanted to be organic, of course, too. You know.
Right. But you know what I appreciate from the both of you guys is the care, the preparation, you know, the fact that you're like, okay, let me do some of my research. Yeah. Let me look up those who have came before me, who have paved the path. Like, let me see what excellence actually looks and sounds like.
Oh, yeah.
So, for that. So, you know what, then? Why don't you guys, let's pedal backwards to when you first met so we can get an idea of what y'all preparation was, everything that went into Come Down. How did y'all two meet? Because Atlanta and Toronto are very, very far from each other.
Yeah, for sure. We just started off by being like boys, you know? We were just kicking it. This is before we ever made music or ever like plan on making music. So at this point, like, we were just like fresh out of high school trying to figure out like what to do with ourselves. And then that's when like we just like kind of formed Come Down. So Come Down was a thing before we ever made music.
Okay.
So we formed Come Down. We were like throwing parties. So we were like pretty like well known in Toronto. At this point, Castro was already in Toronto. This is like 2014, and like we were throwing parties downtown Toronto, and like we kind of got a buzz off of that. Like our parties were just lit.
Right.
And then one thing led to another. We got into a studio, made our first track, and then we were always getting our boy to play like our one song at the parties, and people started pulling up to the parties like just to hear our song. Yeah, so that was kind of crazy.
Okay, so then Castro, riddle me this: is there some form of criteria to be a part of the collective Come Down? Because I even saw Yachty's got a tattoo of Come Down.
Come Down is a collective. And we always collective because like sometimes a lot of folks like to say some stupid shit like gang. I'm like, hold on, like we a collective,
right?
But like it's deeper than that though. You know, it's family, literally family. Because when we met each other, we never knew like what we was gonna do. It's just kind of just like we was on the same wavelength. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So it's just like we clicked and we connected, and it happened like that.
So who are some of the other people that are part of the collective? Like, are you guys touching other aspects of entertainment? Maybe is there like someone who's in art, a designer, or is it basically just like within music?
Yeah, so like we got, you know what I'm saying, me, Castro, you know what I'm saying, we got Fiji, of course. You know, Fiji does all the melodies and stuff like that. He amazing with that hook god, you feel me? Like for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Before him, I didn't even know, like, I'd be like, how do you even come up with stuff like that, you know? But my thing is always like rapping. Like You know what I'm saying? Like punchlines, like wordplay, certain stuff like that.
Gotcha.
We also have Tio. He's like our DJ. Sometimes he'll act as our like creative director. Sometimes it's just like it's a whole bunch of creatives, and we have Kimbo. That's like he's like our security, but he also like he has an input of his own as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. Super fire.
He's like our day one homie.
Yeah.
And then like R.I.P. our bro Raptor, but he was like more on like the fashion.
That's what I got.
Like he did like clothes and stuff.
Super
Like,
fun.
he was fire with that. He was young. He was like 19.
Okay.
Well, we're all young.
Yeah, I was about
But,
to say,
like-
because I'm like 2014 and you were talking about how y'all met at the end of like high school, wondering,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
what are our big lives? What's adulting going to look like
Yeah.
for all of us?
I wasn't even really trying to go into adults and all that other stuff. Really, that stuff kind of scared me a bit. I was.
It is scary, bro.
Yeah,
Trust me.
when I was in Atlanta, I tried to get a job at Quick Trip.
Uh-huh.
Man, I drove 2 hours to Lithonia or some shit like that with my cousin or some far shit.
All right.
And basically, it's like I didn't get the job, and I was like heartbroken that I didn't get a job at Quick Trip. But I'm like, man, it got to be more to life than being let down by Quick Trip. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do it.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So when did you realize, okay, I'm actually a good enough rapper to finagle this into a career? Like who really, because I know also.
That's a good question.
Yeah, you know, clearly Drake has co-signed you, and that's, you know, a heavy compliment to receive in this industry. But I don't think that was probably the first time you said, I'm dope. Like, who confirmed it for you, in a sense?
For us, it's like, because like we never chose like to make music. It's like how we knew that we had talent and like this was for us. It's like it was more of like a over time. Like at first we're doing what it is that we feel we should do, almost
Okay.
as though it's like being told to us, and it's just like organically how we feel. Like we feel like this is how it should be said, or like this cadence. So we feel like when we make an album, like it should look like this. It should come with a trailer. We should package it up like, you know what I'm saying, like we already, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, like we didn't plot on this music shit like, oh,
Yeah.
bro, we're gonna become rappers. We just like got invited to the studio. I didn't even want to go to the studio.
Right.
Yeah, did I?
Like one of our homies just like invited us, and like I made every excuse in the book like to not go to the studio.
Really? Was it
I
like
was like-
intimidation?
Yeah, for sure. Because
Okay.
like there was a lot of people like rapping, like out of Toronto that were like kind of popping or whatever, and we were just like I said, we were throwing parties. So I'm like, I don't want to go to a studio. I've never been to a studio. I've never written bars before. I've never rapped before, really. So it's like I'm like, I don't want to go to a studio like full of a bunch of dudes that are like actual rappers, you know?
Right.
But I feel like I took it in like as of recent, low key. When I had my mom, she came to my listening party.
Aw.
Oh my goodness, it was my mom is OG Jamaican boy. Jamaican as it come, man. I'm telling you.
Did she approve of the scene?
But that's why, cause she's so Jamaican. Like she's strict. Like I know, like she's quick to, oh yeah, like should be in schools or it's a write off. You know what I'm saying? But like very quickly, like when she let me know how she felt about it, and she was proud, and I was like, wow, like the one person that actually only matters, you feel me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Is actually proud of me. That's what I've been trying to do for my entire life. So I felt like, yeah.
I love it. And I feel like your heart is in the right place, both of you guys. Shout out to moms, man.
facts.
Every single damn mom. Every day is Mother's Day.
Shout
So
out
you
to
know
every
what?
mama out there, for real.
I want to come back and I want to see if we can get the citizens in this conversation, because we have so many of them who are trying to get even a toe into the game. And you guys have been able to create like such a steady level of success, and rather quickly, at least to the outside eye. So maybe you guys can also share some advice for up-and-coming artists as well,
Yeah,
while
for
we
sure.
get to learn more about your story. That's cool.
Yeah.
888-742-3345. This is Come Down and Roxanne is what we're listening to right now,
Straight up.
featuring Chief Keef. Citizens, we got Castro here from Atlanta, we got Fiji from Toronto, but together they form the collective Come Down, and they have their new project, Atlanada 2, that is out right now. We're having a really interesting conversation with them, and really like the main theme I'm kind of seeing right now is just following that internal voice, that calling, you know, because Fiji, we were just talking about how the studio felt very intimidating at first. You didn't want to go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And you can have you can just feel like a fraud next to someone who's like excellent at their craft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you eventually said, whatever I have is valuable and deserves to have a place on the mic. So let's see how this goes. And you guys are just expressing yourselves.
Now, it was crazy because we just more or less looked at it like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, if we don't do it, then it's like, okay, like we're going to do whatever we did yesterday today. So it's like,
I will never know what it could have been.
And the fact is, like, man, you definitely miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly, right. So that's why you kind of have to shed that imposter syndrome and be like, if I'm here, I'm meant to be here. So let's be present and make something up from it. What would you guys say are the main differences between the Atlanta sound and the Toronto sound?
Well, I can speak on the Atlanta sound. Like, it's like I find the way I see it over there. It's like the Southern sound it has like it's like almost like a playfulness to it. Like it's almost like it for me. It's I look at like beats like skipping. You feel what I'm saying? Like double dutch, and it's just like it just seems like they not ever fighting the beat. Like they riding the beat. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost just like. It's like they really in that moment, you feel what I'm saying? So so like as far as Southern sound, like when I hear stuff like that, and it's like I would hear a lot, it's always like struggle shit, you feel what I'm saying? Like I hear a lot of that. And then, you know what I'm saying, sometimes it's pop shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, but for the most part, I feel like it's just Atlanta has established its own culture. So like its sound for music, it's like it's like well known, you know what I mean? It's been copied by many other people, you know what I'm saying? Other cities as well.
Okay. And you know what? I'm wondering, this will lead us to having a conversation with one of our citizens, because you guys were able to so quickly gain success. We touched on this a little bit before, and you have Drake in your DMs. You have Lil Yachty that's got a tattoo of Come Down. We just heard Roxanne featuring Chief Keef, and then I read that Waka Flocka's been a big supporter. So what do you think has been the key element outside of making dope music that has helped you to gain this all these cosigns? Has it been networking with the right people? Is it saving up money to find the right publicist, or is it let me reach out to these artists ourselves on social media? What has really been that kind of secret sauce?
I think it's to make sure that how you start is how you finish. So you got to make sure like every single move that you make sure it's with quality, and other people will eventually start to see that. You know what I mean? And I feel like it wasn't immediate that we started getting attention from certain people that started getting, you know what I'm saying? But people seen us, and for the most part, they wanted to see us work hard.
Right.
Just like anybody that's a manager, let's say even at a franchise like a McDonald's, you're a manager at McDonald's, you want to see the person under you work hard to get to where you at, you know what I'm saying? So it's like respectable after seeing us put in an effort and a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? And the consistency was just like, all right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a big thing, is being consistent.
Right.
And like all the relationships that like we've made have been like mad organic, you know? Like we're just like ourselves. So like we meet people, and like people just like off the rip, like if they fuck with our energy, then, you know?
I feel you. Okay, let's fuck with Ken from Long Island's energy real quick. Ken, you there?
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, Ken? So I know that you're listening to this conversation, and I feel like you're an artist or creative of some form as well, yes?
Yeah, dude. I've been doing music for about 4 or 5 years now.
Okay, so let's see. We have these two great guys here who are very open about sharing, you know, the ups and downs of their path and how they've been able to manifest all this current greatness. What question do you want to ask them?
I mean, really, most of the music that I've been able to do right now, due to lack of funds, I guess, is all remixes. So I want to try and get like all original beats. Eventually, my end goal would be to learn how to make my own beats. But I just want to know, basically, how would I start getting original beats as soon as possible?
Original beats as soon as possible. I wish we had Teo over here, producer, to speak about this. But yeah, Cass, Fiji, what do you think?
I mean, I could tell you off rip, like first, for starters, like before you even get sidetracked, like what I notice is like sometimes like it's easy to focus on what other people is doing. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like noticing like whose lane is progressing faster than the others, but no one ever pays attention when it slows up.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So like the biggest important part is getting your team, that's just the base, down pat. So you want a producer, or you want a certain sound or certain beats, you got to find that producer at eye level, which means even if he hits you up on Facebook or he emails you or you meet him and he hands you a flash drive at a party, it's just like, yo, you never know, because like any day could be your lucky day. So make this day your lucky day. Take that flash drive, and then maybe you'll link up, and you'll have like what happened with Yachty and Perry, where it's like, damn, y'all created a sound.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, just take a chance sometimes. You know?
Okay. And also
Yeah,
probably
just network and put yourself in a situation where like you would meet like someone that produces and like, you know,
and
find
then
someone that'll be
really,
on board
really,
with you.
really learn how. Like you gotta really, really don't just look at it like it's just music, because this person has to understand you as a person to be able to, you know what I'm saying, orchestrate this kind of formula to make beats for you, so you guys can create something really great.
Right.
So in that aspect, you got to make sure like you guys actually, you know what I'm saying,
fuck with each other.
It got to be organic for real, or it won't work.
That makes a lot of sense. So now I'm realizing even more with you guys starting off in like the party scene.
Yeah.
You're around so many people who
Sure.
do
It
something
was all
within
just
music.
networking.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
literally, it's like, oh, you do this, I do this. I
Uh-huh.
can do this for you. You could do this for me. Cool.
Got
And
you.
then we formed a team and like, you know,
And you barter.
just made stuff happen that way.
Yeah,
Not even necessarily barter. Like I would help someone that can't help me, and like, I mean,
I see
you know,
what you're saying. Yeah. Right. Okay, Ken, you got that?
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you a lot.
Hey, I appreciate you too, Ken, man. It's your
Yeah.
first phone call I got now. Appreciate you,
Aw,
Slime.
that's super what's up. And you know what, Ken? Why don't you just say, what's your artist name, bro, so we can look you up?
Well, I don't have anything up yet. That's the only problem.
We
but
need
I
to
go
get
by
on that
Kenny
ASAP, man.
Yo, movement is the medicine, Ken. Come on, bruh. But okay, hopefully
Yeah,
this is the catalyst for you to do that. Alrighty? We
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
you,
you.
Ken.
Appreciate
Remember,
it.
you can, goddamn. Don't forget. Don't worry.
You're a citizen and say in the morning. Okay, so one last thing, Cass, is someone had mentioned to me that you had an untold story about the circumstances that had you like flee Toronto to Atlanta or Atlanta to Toronto, some type of great escape. Is this fact or fiction?
What you mean, great escape? You make me sound like I had
Like
to
a
get,
I don't know.
like I got some secrets from Harriet Tubman or some shit.
No. I'm not bringing up the great Harriet Tubman. I'm just
I'm
saying.
saying like the escape. I ain't never heard that before ever.
Oh, okay, so
Escape.
there was nothing where you had to flee Toronto to Atlanta.
Or I had to flee. Flee
Okay.
from who? Hell no. I ain't
You know
never
what?
heard that. Hell no.
The internet is a wild place. So
That's wild as hell. I'm from Clayco. We ain't flee for nobody. That's big facts.
okay, well I'm glad that we have that.
I
Cleared
fled
up.
that literacy test though. That's big facts. Yeah, They said I couldn't graduate if I had to do that literacy test. I'm like, I'm taking my ass right back to Clayco.
For the literacy test.
Yup.
Wait, explain this.
So in Toronto, they have this thing called a literacy test,
Uh-huh.
and it's like it's what you need to graduate. So like I wanted to get the jump start, like, and just live in Canada. That would be so far because Atlanta's so boring. So like, all right, that's how I found it. So I was like, okay, but the thing is, I spoke to my the principal and the counselor, and he was looking at my transcripts and shit. He said, I see you guys don't have the literacy test over there, and I was like, literacy who? I said, sir, I could read and write. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And then like he was just like, no, it's a standard test that you got to take over here. And I said, okay, can I see it? Man, he showed me this thing. I said, boy, I'll be back with a diploma.
Yeah, and some records for him to hear. Literacy.
Facts.
Look at these bars. Look at
Yeah.
the DMs from Drake. What does Drake tell you guys, by the way?
Nah, I mean, it's love from you know what I'm saying, from the boy. Like, we appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? He just let us know, like, he see us working.
He's like the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Like literally. Like what happened was, like, so we have obviously our own personal Instagram accounts,
Right.
and then we have like the Come Down account, and we noticed like he was following the Come Down account out of nowhere, and we're like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. Because on Come Down account we only literally follow like Come Down members, right?
Okay.
So we follow like 4 or 5 people, so we're like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, like how do you find out about this?
Yeah, but I mean like,
Toronto though.
yeah, Toronto, like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like he has like his ears like peeled,
Mm-hmm.
and like we're obviously making like waves in the city, so it was just dope to see that like someone that we idolize, like, you know,
Yeah.
they're like showing love and like and recognizing.
Absolutely. That
Yeah.
means a lot. And you need that because sometimes
sure.
you're going to question yourself along the path. You know what I mean? So you just have to have those moments. And I hope that you took like a screenshot or something so you can reference it with ease whenever necessary. But you're going to need it during the path because you guys are going to be tested. But I could definitely tell that you guys are true artists. And I appreciate this introduction that we've had amongst each other, but also with the citizens. So why don't you guys tell us where we can reach you? Because I know you guys have personal accounts, but obviously the collective account as well. Yeah, and Atlanta 2 is out everywhere. But if you want to continue this conversation with these fellows, follow them on Instagram and Twitter. Cass, starting with you.
At Castro Guapo. I mean, at Castro Come Down. Fiji, like Fiji Come Down, or like the whole collective is just at Come Down.
Dope.
Yeah, Come Down spelled CMDWN.
So it's just Come Down with no vowels.
Okay, fire. And what's your personal, Fiji?
Fiji Come Down.
Oh, okay.
FIJI
Got it.
CMDWN.
You know, repetition is the mother of learning, so it's okay if we say it twice. It's all good. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks for
all
having
of our
us.
support, yes, and we'll definitely make sure that you guys are here when Sway is back in town.
Hey man, we wish him an early recovery and all the best.
Absolutely. Citizens, next up is Celebrity Wire, and we got to talk about all the craziness. I got a lot.